Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, it's all about you, listener, and your interest in health, fitness, and making some positive changes. You've been following a popular fitness YouTuber, right?
Right.
And you sent us a transcript from one of her recent Q&A videos.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's packed with advice and personal experiences, so we're going to help you break it all down and find those golden nuggets that fit your goals.
You know, it's really fascinating how YouTube has changed the way we all share and receive fitness advice now. This raw, unfiltered style, it's so valuable. But you need to consider the context, right? And analyze it carefully.
Yeah, for sure. What really struck me was how relatable she is.
Yeah.
She's open about struggling with her own 30-day challenge and even having McDonald's after a night out, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's refreshing that she focuses on progress, not perfection.
Totally.
And did you notice she uses a point system instead of aiming for 100% adherence?
It's really interesting, that point system. It highlights a key principle of habit formation. It's a form of gamification.
Interesting.
So by turning, healthy habits into a game, it taps into our natural desire for rewards and achievement.
Makes sense.
Which can make, the whole process more engaging and fun.
Yeah. There were so many questions about staying consistent and motivated, which is something we all struggle with, right?
For sure.
She suggested starting small, building one habit at a time, and just focusing on how good it feels to actually achieve those goals.
Absolutely. Breaking down large goals into smaller, manageable steps.
Right.
That's crucial for preventing overwhelm.
Yeah.
And it actually increases the chances of success, right?
Yeah.
Because if you focus on just one habit at a time, you can dedicate more energy and attention to it, which makes it more likely to stick.
And as a busy single mom, she really emphasized the importance of a support system, for maintaining a fitness routine. Her best friend helps with childcare, and she talked about how essential that is for her consistency.
It brings up a larger point, I think, about the impact of our environment and social circles on our habits. And unfortunately, many women face societal pressures that make it challenging to balance fitness with their responsibilities.
Right.
So having a really solid support network, it can make all the difference in overcoming these obstacles.
Yeah.
And, sticking to your goals.
She was incredibly candid about the emotional side of weight loss and how it impacted her relationship. It's so inspiring to hear about her self-discovery journey and how she emphasizes self-love and acceptance.
Weight loss, or any significant lifestyle change really, often brings up deeper emotional issues.
Yeah.
And her personal narrative is valuable because it reminds us that acknowledging these feelings and practicing self-compassion is really vital for long-term success.
One viewer asked how she handles bad days and avoids those so-called cheat meals.
Yeah.
She seems to be all about finding a balance and allowing herself treats in moderation.
The cheat meal mentality can be problematic
Okay.
because it creates a restrictive mindset,
Yeah.
which often backfires.
Yeah.
So instead of labeling foods as good or bad, it's more sustainable to incorporate treats mindfully as part of a balanced diet.
Right.
And this helps avoid feelings of guilt or failure, which can be major setbacks.
Oh, for sure. She offered some really practical tips for dealing with cravings, like creating high-volume, low-calorie versions of your favorite treats. For example, she uses Options hot chocolate as a lower-calorie alternative, and she fills up on soups during the winter.
Those are great examples of how small adjustments can make a big difference, right? Have you ever considered, listener, the concept of calorie density?
Calorie density.
It's fascinating. So basically, by focusing on foods that are high in volume but low in calories, like fruits, vegetables, and soups, you can actually eat more food while consuming fewer calories. So this helps manage hunger and cravings without feeling deprived.
She's a huge advocate for mindset and addressed common concerns like those frustrating weight fluctuations that happen during muscle building. I love her advice to focus on how you feel and look rather than just the number on the scale.
Absolutely. Understanding the physiological changes that come with muscle gain, that's crucial, right?
Right.
So for example, muscle is denser than fat, so you may gain weight while actually losing inches.
Oh, interesting.
By focusing on strength gains, body composition, and overall well-being, you get a much more accurate and encouraging picture of your progress.
It's so refreshing to hear her talk openly about cellulite. She says it's normal and that she still has it even at her leanest. She even mentioned how water retention and sodium can make it look worse. I bet a lot of people can relate to that.
Her honesty is a breath of fresh air, especially in a world where we're bombarded with images of unrealistic airbrush perfection.
Yeah.
It's important to normalize these common experiences and promote body acceptance. Cellulite is a natural part of being human, and it doesn't diminish your worth or beauty.
She's currently training for a powerlifting competition, but admitted to missing her bodybuilding workouts. Now she's thinking about combining the two, which sounds incredibly intense.
That's called power building.
Power building.
Yeah, think of it like sculpting a Greek statue while simultaneously training to pull a truck. It requires a lot of dedication, but it's an incredible way to challenge yourself both physically and mentally.
So, listener, what's resonating with you so far? We're uncovering some great insights about mindset, self-compassion, and finding strategies that truly fit your life.
Yeah. It seems like you're really searching for a sustainable path towards a healthier and happier you. Let's dive into the specifics of her 30-day challenge and see what actionable insights we can uncover.
Yeah, she really emphasized the importance of consistency over perfection. It wasn't about hitting every single goal every day, but building those healthy habits over time.
One of the things that stood out to me was her use of a point system. Instead of aiming for 100% adherence, she awarded herself points for each task she completed. This approach aligns with the principles of operant conditioning, where positive reinforcement encourages those desired behaviors.
I love how she incorporated so many different aspects of well-being into the challenge. She had daily goals for sleep, nutrition, exercise, and even things like making it to bed by a certain time.
It's a holistic approach that recognizes the interconnectedness of our physical, mental, and emotional health. Like getting enough sleep, it doesn't just improve our energy levels and mood, but also plays a crucial role in regulating hormones that influence appetite and metabolism.
Right. She was really open about not always hitting all of her goals. For instance, she went out for Halloween and didn't get enough sleep that night, but she didn't beat herself up about it.
That's a great example of self-compassion in action. Life happens, and sometimes we slip up. The key is to avoid that all-or-nothing thinking that can totally derail our progress. It's about recognizing that setbacks are a normal part of the journey, and we can always get back on track.
Yeah, for sure. She also mentioned that sticking to a 10:30 p.m. bedtime was especially challenging because she's a busy mom who often needs that time to catch up on work and self-care.
This highlights the importance of personalization. What works for one person won't necessarily work for another. It's about finding what fits into your life and your schedule. And sometimes it's about making compromises and adjustments along the way.
One thing she really stressed was the importance of starting small and building one habit at a time. Instead of trying to overhaul your entire life overnight, focus on making one small change, mastering it, and then moving on to the next.
That approach aligns perfectly with the concept of habit stacking. The idea is to attach a new habit to an existing one. For example, if you already have a habit of drinking coffee in the morning, you could try adding a new habit, like doing 10 push-ups, immediately after you finish your coffee.
Oh, interesting. She talked about how once a habit is formed, it becomes almost automatic, like brushing your teeth. You don't even have to think about it. You just do it.
Exactly. And the more you repeat a behavior, the stronger the neural pathways in your brain become, making it easier to perform that behavior without conscious effort. This is why consistency is so crucial when it comes to building lasting habits.
She also shared some really insightful tips on dealing with hunger and cravings, which are always major roadblocks when you're trying to make dietary changes. One strategy she mentioned was focusing on high-volume, low-calorie foods like fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins to stay feeling full and satisfied.
This is a fantastic strategy, especially when you're watching your calorie intake. Calorie density, listener, refers to the number of calories per gram of food. Foods with a low calorie density tend to be high in water and fiber, which help you feel fuller on fewer calories. Imagine a cup of grapes versus a tablespoon of peanut butter. Both contain roughly 100 calories, but the grapes will fill you up much more due to their higher volume and lower calorie density.
That makes sense.
Right. And when it comes to cravings, she believes that no food should be completely off limits. It's about allowing yourself treats in moderation and finding healthier alternatives that satisfy those cravings without sabotaging your progress.
The key is to create a balanced dietary framework that includes a variety of nutrient-rich foods while still allowing for those occasional indulgences. It's about finding a sustainable approach that you can maintain over time, rather than relying on restrictive diets that often lead to feelings of deprivation and eventual rebound weight gain. She gives some great examples of how to satisfy those cravings without overdoing it on calories. For instance, instead of reaching for a chocolate bar, she might make a high-protein, chocolate-flavored Greek yogurt with fruit,
That's a fantastic example of how to satisfy a sweet craving while also getting a healthy dose of protein and nutrients. Greek yogurt is also a good source of probiotics, which are beneficial for gut health, further promoting overall well-being.
She also had some great advice for dealing with those inevitable bad days. She talked about listening to your body and taking active rest days when needed, but also emphasized the importance of self-care practices like journaling, taking relaxing baths, and stepping away from social media.
This is so important. We often get caught up in the go, go, go mentality and neglect our need for rest and rejuvenation. Incorporating self-care practices into our routine is not selfish. It's essential for maintaining our physical, mental, and emotional well-being.
She even mentioned that sometimes a little retail therapy or getting her hair done can lift her spirits on a bad day. It's about finding healthy coping mechanisms that work for you.
Absolutely. And sometimes simply acknowledging that you're having a tough day and giving yourself permission to step back and recharge can make a world of difference. Taking those mental breaks can actually enhance productivity and creativity in the long run.
There was one question that really stood out to me, and she admitted it was a tough one to answer. How do we overcome those fears that hold us back from truly being ourselves?
That's a question that resonates with all of us on some level, right? Fear can be paralyzing, preventing us from pursuing our dreams and living our lives to the fullest.
She talked about the fear of rejection, the fear of not being good enough, and how those fears can lead us to build walls around ourselves and hide our true selves from the world.
Fear is often rooted in a lack of self-worth. We're afraid to be vulnerable and show our true selves because we fear judgment and rejection. But the truth is, everyone experiences these fears to some extent. It's part of the human experience.
She believes the key to overcoming those fears lies in self-love and self-acceptance.
It's about recognizing our inherent worthiness and embracing all aspects of ourselves, including our flaws and imperfections. When we love and accept ourselves unconditionally, we're less afraid of what others think, and we're free to express ourselves authentically.
It's a powerful message, and it aligns perfectly with her overall philosophy of progress over perfection. It's not about being flawless, it's about embracing the journey and striving to be the best version of yourself.
And part of that journey involves confronting those fears that are holding us back. It's about stepping outside of our comfort zones and taking risks, knowing that even if we fail, we learn and grow from those experiences.
Her perspective on body image and the pressure to achieve a certain aesthetic is also incredibly insightful. One viewer asked about cellulite, and she was very honest about her own experience.
It's refreshing to hear someone speak so openly about a topic that's often shrouded in shame and secrecy. Cellulite is incredibly common, affecting a vast majority of women, regardless of their weight or fitness level. It's largely determined by genetics and hormonal factors, and it's not an indication of poor health or fitness.
It was inspiring to hear her say that cellulite is normal and that she still has it, even at her leanest. She even talked about how water retention and sodium can make it look worse, which I know I can relate to.
Her honesty helps to normalize these common experiences and reduce the shame that many women feel about their bodies. It's a reminder that we are all beautifully imperfect and that our worth is not determined by the smoothness of our skin.
She even mentioned that training and building muscle have helped improve the appearance of her thighs, not because it eliminated cellulite, but because it gave her legs more shape and filled out some of the loose skin she has from weight loss.
Strength training can have a profound impact on body composition, and it goes beyond just aesthetics. It increases muscle mass, which boosts metabolism and helps burn more calories, even at rest. It also improves bone density, reduces the risk of injuries, and enhances overall strength and functionality. Building muscle can also improve body image and self-confidence, which are essential for overall well-being.
She talked about a pivotal moment during her weight loss journey around 7 or 8 months in, when she'd lost a significant amount of weight and realized that reaching her goal wasn't as unattainable as she once thought.
That's a common experience for people who embark on significant lifestyle changes. There comes a point when the initial difficulty starts to ease, and you begin to see tangible results. That's when the motivation really kicks in and you realize you're capable of achieving more than you ever imagined.
It's like that moment when the belief in yourself becomes stronger than any doubt or fear.
Exactly. It's a turning point where you shift from I can't to I can. And that shift in mindset can be incredibly empowering. It opens up a world of possibilities and allows you to approach challenges with a newfound sense of confidence and determination.
She also shared some insightful advice on how to develop a healthy mindset when it comes to food and avoid falling into the trap of cheating on your diet. She emphasized making sure no foods are completely off limits and focusing on incorporating treats in moderation as part of a balanced lifestyle.
This approach aligns with the principles of intuitive eating, which encourages listening to your body's hunger and fullness cues and making food choices based on satisfaction and nourishment rather than strict rules and restrictions. When you allow yourself to enjoy all foods in moderation, you're less likely to experience cravings and binges, which can derail your progress.
She really emphasized that labeling foods as good or bad and setting up a system of rules and restrictions can create a negative mindset and even lead to a cycle of guilt and binging. Instead, she advocates for focusing on building a healthy relationship with food that's based on balance and moderation.
This is crucial for making lasting changes to your eating habits. It's not about perfection, it's about finding what works for you and creating a sustainable approach that you can maintain over time.
She also had some fantastic tips for avoiding those moments of weakness when temptation strikes, like having healthy options readily available so you're not as tempted to reach for unhealthy snacks when hunger strikes.
Planning is key. Prepping your meals in advance or having healthy snacks on hand can make a big difference when those cravings hit. This could be as simple as having a bowl of pre-cut fruits and veggies in your fridge or carrying a bag of almonds in your purse.
She also talked about being mindful of your calorie intake throughout the day so you can enjoy those occasional treats without exceeding your overall goals. It's all about making conscious choices and finding that balance.
Mindfulness plays a significant role in developing healthy eating habits. By paying attention to your body's signals and making conscious food choices, you can enjoy your favorite treats while still staying on track with your goals. It's about finding that sweet spot where you can nourish your body while also satisfying your taste buds.
Now let's switch gears a bit and talk about her current fitness goals. She mentioned that she's been training for a powerlifting competition, but has also found herself missing her bodybuilding workouts.
This is a common dilemma for people who enjoy both the strength-building aspects of powerlifting and the aesthetic focus of bodybuilding.
She's even considering combining the two, known as power building, to achieve both strength and physique goals.
Power building is becoming increasingly popular among fitness enthusiasts. It involves incorporating elements of both powerlifting and bodybuilding into a comprehensive training program. This approach requires careful planning and attention to recovery as it demands a lot from the body.
And speaking of demanding, she also addressed a question about performance-enhancing drugs, or PEDs. It's a complex and often controversial topic in the fitness world.
Her response was honest and straightforward. She acknowledged that PED use is prevalent in bodybuilding and other competitive sports, but also emphasized the potential health risks associated with these substances.
She made it clear that she prioritizes her health and well-being, and using PEDs is not something she's willing to risk.
Her perspective highlights the importance of making informed decisions and understanding the potential consequences of our choices, especially when it comes to our health.
It's about taking a holistic approach to health and fitness, one that considers not only physical performance, but also mental, emotional, and long-term well-being.
Her story and the advice she shared in this Q&A offer a wealth of valuable insights for anyone on a journey of self-improvement. It's about finding what works for you, embracing the process, and never giving up on your goals.
This deep dive has been incredibly insightful, and I'm sure our listener is already gleaning some valuable takeaways. But before we wrap things up, let's shift our focus to a final thought that might just change the way you approach your own fitness journey. You know, we talk a lot about those practical strategies she shared, but there's this one underlying theme. It really resonated with me.
Okay, what's that?
This idea that true transformation, it goes beyond just the physical, you know.
Oh, for sure.
It's about self-discovery, shedding those layers that kind of hold us back.
Right.
And just like allowing our true selves to shine through.
Yeah. It is fascinating how closely physical and emotional transformations can be like intertwined. Shedding those extra pounds seem to have gone hand in hand with shedding insecurities and fears.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
It is for all of us.
Yeah.
Her story, it reminds us that real change happens on like multiple levels. It's about looking inward, confronting our like inner critic, you know, and embracing every part of who we are.
This brings up an important question for you, listener.
Oh, okay.
What are those things that might be holding you back from being your most authentic self?
Yeah.
What fears or limiting beliefs are keeping you, stuck?
It's a powerful question to consider. As you reflect on your own journey, remember her message. It's not about striving for perfection. It's about making progress.
Right.
Embrace the journey. Celebrate the small wins. And never stop growing.
What if, instead of focusing on the end goal,
Yeah.
you shifted your focus to like enjoying the process of becoming healthier and stronger?
It's a really interesting perspective. What would that look like for you, listener? Maybe it's finding joy in moving your body, trying new recipes, or simply, prioritizing self-care.
Remember, true transformation is a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
It's about making those small, consistent changes that add up to big results over time.
And who knows, maybe along the way, you'll inspire others to embark on their own journeys of transformation, just like this YouTuber has inspired you and countless others.
That's the beauty of sharing our stories and experiences,
Yeah.
We can create a ripple effect of positive change that extends far beyond ourselves.
This deep dive has been so insightful. We hope you've gained some valuable knowledge
For sure.
and, feel empowered to take those next steps on your own path.
The power to change lies within you.
Right.
It starts with that first step, and then another, and another.
Keep going.
Keep learning, keep growing, and never stop exploring what you're truly capable of.
Until next time, keep diving deep and keep striving to become the best version of yourself.